Betty in Southern California, she comes in and says, Mr. Chapman, I thought the Chinese government owned everything, and I read an article today where over 70 cities in China had a record 12% increase in property prices. I thought the government owned everything. What's this about people being able to own property in China?
They do. They have been for a long time. Sort of westernized communism.
Does this mean that they're having does this mean that they are having a housing bubble there, just like we've had here?
Absolutely. And they got a bubble in the stock market too, and they're both going to collapse.
So you're saying property investments by Chinese and Chinese corporations are about to have a major correction in their real estate industry, and therefore their financial condition and the financial of their companies are going to reflect something that we saw here in 2008 with the collapse that we had in 2008 and the financial problems then. They're coming to roost in China. Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. That's right. And, you know, they think China's going to save the world. China's going to save anything. They're going to have to save themselves. And they still have an oppressive government, so I think there would be a very good chance that they might have a revolution in China.
Wow. That would be
That's why I won't recommend investments there or in Mongolia. Africa is the same way. Russia, you know, the government there still is not pro-investment from the outside. And so I'm waiting to see when they're going to change and really open their arms to foreign investment.
Lisa comes in from Seattle. She says, in one of the most dazzling half hours in the market today, we saw the market almost fall 1,000 points. And then, of all things, CNBC comes on and says that the stock sell-off was triggered by some trader error. Mr. Chapman, what kind of bull are these people trying to get us to believe? Is this just ludicrous, or is this ludicrous?
They've run out of excuses, and they run out of lies, and the game's over. You know, when the market was 11,800, I told everybody, get out. It's pretty simple. It's going lower. And Richard Russell, who has the longest term newsletter, called the Dow Theory Letter, believe me, this guy does not go off the deep end. He says the Dow's headed for 1,000. And so I think it'll go to 28 to 3,200, and I think we'll be lucky if it stops there. And
who did you say it was going to go to 1,000?
Richard Russell, and I've had his articles in the International Forecaster. And there's only a few of us who have made that prediction. Dave Tice at Prudent Bear did too. And, you know, I know these guys pretty well. When you're old, I guess you know most everybody that's still living,
they
of
want
course.
to come play golf with you. We got to take a break, Mr. Chapman. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen, with Mr. Bob Chapman. He's here. If I could get back to them, I want to welcome you back to the show. Do you have anything you personally would like to bring forth for the listening audience?
Well, there's some very, very important events that have happened, and we know about Europe and the stock market, but it was my golfing last week. Anyway, I'm just kidding you.
Forgive you for your golfing.
You know, one of the things I found out, I was in an age group in these tournaments. There was 6 of them, and I competed against men 65 and older. And every foursome I was in, I outdrove everybody else by 100 yards. My drives are going out between 280 and 320. They couldn't believe it. But anyway, with that said, the situation in Europe is really onerous. And I think it's going to go out of control because the Greek people refuse to take responsibility for what their governments did and lied to them. And so I think it's going to be country by country now. Who's next? Probably Portugal, Spain, Ireland, maybe one of the Baltic states, maybe Ukraine, which is on an IMF, International Monetary Fund, austerity program right now. And it goes on and on. This is now going to go on every month or two for the next couple of years. And things are not going to be good.
I have a question. I have a statement and a question from Simmerfold, Ukraine. Mr. Chairman, did you know that here in the Ukraine that the average engineer only makes $900 to $1,100 a month?
Well, I can believe that because that happens in many countries. Even you take Mexico as an example. The average engineer probably makes $1,500 to $1,700 a month. A younger one, so to speak. People who have been in the business for, say, 15 years, they're probably making the equivalent of about $3,000 a month. But wages throughout the world are pretty low already, and they're getting lower as we go along. They're certainly not going up. And productivity is increasing, although this past month it fell off from 6.8 to 3.6% growth. And because people are scared to death they're going to lose their jobs, so they're working like mad. And but that's not going to last forever because there's only so much increased productivity that an individual can make. But the point is, throughout the world, with the exception of Europe and the United States and Canada, wages are pretty low.
I'm back. I was kicked off. I don't know how much of the question, but obviously you were able to take it and run with it. I apologize, Mr. Chapman. This is one of the greatest things about having you on the show. You hear a part of the question, you're able to run with it, and I'm out here being kicked off my own radio show.
Well, maybe it's some kind of a prediction. Maybe I should come into the radio show with you.
Remember on American
Boy, that would be
Radio,
something else, I'll tell you.
On American Voice Radio, we were constantly being hit. They've just moved over to Blog Talk now. There's a question here. Let's see, where's that question at? I got a question here. We got the one from the Ukraine. We got that one from about the IMF. We got let's see, here it is. There are many, Mr. Chapman, there's many possible triggers for a wider euro debt crisis. Right now, we're not hearing very much out of Iceland other than the volcano. What about the problems with Iceland? Are they just sitting up there and nobody's just talking about them with their money problems? How far will it go in Iceland before the debt crisis there explodes?
Well, it's interesting, that question, and the reason why is that today the president of the bank, or at least one of the banks, I don't know how many went under, I can't remember, was charged criminally. What's that?
7 last week. 14.
No, in Iceland.
Oh, in Iceland. I don't know. I just. Hey,
well, anyway, one of them was put in jail.
If you're out there, if you'll get back to me, tell us if you know how many banks in Iceland fell. We'd like to know. And anybody else out there with any questions, please put your questions in all capital letters. I'm being inundated here with a lot of chatter, and the questions just I can't see them. Mr. Chapman, it's like the world is collapsing around us. Do you think it's time the leaders of the world sit down at the big table and start talking about like adults about the energy problems and the financial problems that we're being forced into by elitists behind the scenes, and our countries take our financial systems back?